Most women mellow with age, but not all. A grandma resents a new family member.
He didn't see this one coming.
A businesswoman cooks more than the books.
Her kingdom was being threatened.
And a divorcee tries to bury her past.
I didn't know what to do, so I just took him and I buried him in the herb garden.
These deadly women are old, but not wise. You have to watch your back when Granny gets a gun. In 2004, in California, it's a special day for 22-year-old Leslie. She's marrying 25-year-old Alex Reyes. And she's expecting their baby. Alex is excited to be a father. But there's one guest who isn't happy.
If you look at the pictures of her, you never see her smiling.
The bride's 81-year-old grandmother, Jean Allen.
Now, please join us.
You can do much better than me.
She doesn't approve of this shotgun wedding.
You got the very strong feeling that there was nothing about Alex that she liked.
Jean never approved of Alex for her granddaughter. For apparently no good reason. Alex believed it was because he was Mexican.
But Grandma Jean can't take away Alex's joy at becoming a father.
So, I've decided I'm gonna be a cop.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Alex Reyes was a good man in training to be a police officer.
I mean, it's a steady income and I can look after all of us.
I think you'd look good in a uniform.
Go. Get the bottle. I'll take care of this one.
He would brag about his son at work, show pictures on his cell phone of his baby and how much he wanted to spend time with him.
As the newlyweds dream of their future, the reality falls short.
Leslie, please stop!
I can't do this anymore!
What? Tell me, what do you want?
No, I don't know. I don't want you.
No.
Clearly, it wasn't a happy union.
We're leaving.
No, he is my son. You are not taking him away.
Here's my son too, and I can't.
It seems Grandma is right.
Leslie leaves her husband after only 6 months of marriage, takes her baby, and goes to live with her grandma, Jean.
Jean is not only happy to get her granddaughter away from Alex, she's determined to keep him away from the baby.
Oh, come on, cheer up. You're both better off without him.
She doesn't feel that he's a good father. She doesn't like who he is.
How do you know?
Trust me, I know.
Thanks, Nan.
You're welcome.
She did not want the father to have much to do with the child. She wanted to make sure that her granddaughter had custody.
The couple is heading for divorce. But during the separation, the women allow Alex to visit his son.
The most important part of his life was his baby boy. He was a devoted father.
Where is he? Hi, buddy. How are you?
Look at you.
Oh, you're so big. Oh, you're heavy now. Oh, my. I think somebody needs a little change.
I can go get a diaper.
No, it's okay. I'm happy too. Make a change, little man. Come on.
Alex, being the devoted father that he was, wanted substantial custody.
There you go.
The custody question hangs in the air for both of them until the divorce is finalized.
Good legs are these. Good legs are these. Yeah. That's a boy. Sit up. That's my boy. All right. Whoop. Hey, there we go.
Get away from him, Alex. I saw what you did.
What are you talking about?
What's going on?
I saw him. He's a pedophile.
What? How dare you?
Quite possibly the worst thing that someone could ever be called is a child molester.
You get out now.
What? No, Leslie.
Get out.
It's not uncommon in bitter custody disputes.
You can't believe this.
You heard her. Get out. Now.
It's not uncommon, but it is despicable.
This changes everything. With his reputation smeared, Alex has to fight to keep his son.
I saw what happened.
Can you tell me exactly what you saw?
I was standing outside the doorway. Oh, he didn't know I was there. They're so cunning. He was calling the little boy disgusting names. And then he removed his diaper.
It's hard to defend. The action is taken first and questions are asked later.
Did you witness this as well?
No.
It would have to be a parent's worst nightmare.
It's a very powerful card to play if you're in a custody battle.
What about the custody of your son?
Leslie wants full custody. He's a monster.
Child Protective Services did restrict Alex's visitation to 2 hours twice a week, supervised by one of their own employees.
Where's your supervisor?
The allegation also means Alex's dream of becoming a police officer is over.
If you want a career in law enforcement, there is no way that a substantiated claim like that would ever allow you to do so.
Hey, little guy.
It had to have been a hell for him.
You watch him every minute.
What am I gonna do?
It's all lies. I can't believe they made this up about me.
Are you prepared to sit a polygraph test?
Of course.
Alex sought out professional people to examine him to conclude that he was not a child molester.
Are you ready to begin? Yes.
Can you tell me your full name?
Alex Leo Reyes.
Have you ever touched your son in an inappropriate way?
No.
Alex sought out a sex offender professional psychologist who examined him and determined that he didn't have it in him and he was telling the truth.
The couple is heading to court, and Alex is set to win.
How did I do?
The lawyer had said that he had several experts on hand that were going to testify that Alex was a good parent.
All the tests are favorable. The polygraph and the analysis by the sex crime experts.
There was no case of molestation. There was no facts showing that Alex was anything but a caring father in this case.
But Jean is a law unto herself.
She was perfectly calm. She was resolved. She was a woman on a mission.
It started as a fairy tale, a love child, a wedding, and a promising career.
I'm gonna be a cop.
Seriously?
Until Granny steps in.
All right. Whoop.
Get away from him, Alex. I saw what you did.
What are you talking about?
She alleges the worst.
He's a monster.
Alex Reyes's world crashes down.
All lies. I can't believe they made this up about me.
Are you prepared to sit a polygraph test?
He's determined to reclaim his name and his son.
Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Alex had the support of his entire family, so much so that they even went with him on his supervised visits to see the baby.
Until his case goes to court, he's granted limited access.
It's probably best if you guys just wait here.
I just want to see my beautiful grandson.
You will, Mom. I don't want you guys to have to deal with Jean. I'll be right back, okay?
On January 28, 2006, the maligned dad is asked to come early by his estranged wife, Leslie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming early.
Sure.
Leslie had asked Alex to come over to work on a stroller that had broken. So Alex got there a few minutes early.
And
Yeah.
it's just like an extra.
Yeah, there it is.
His parents are in the car waiting for him. They're waiting for the court-appointed observer to arrive.
Grandmother Jean Allen tried everything to keep Alex away from his son.
You know, when everyone finds the truth about what you've done, you're gonna owe me a huge apology.
Alex was rightfully indignant and told Jean and Leslie that he wanted a written apology from them for the allegations they had made.
You're gonna owe me an apology, too.
And Jean didn't like that. He didn't see this one coming.
She only fired twice. She nailed him both times.
Alex's parents were waiting for their son to bring their grandson out so they could all spend a couple hours together. Instead, they watched their son be murdered.
Jean robs a baby of a father and parents of an innocent son.
Jean puts her gun down, goes inside.
Yeah, police.
Calls 911.
I just shot a pedophile.
And says, I've shot a pedophile.
So this is her way of reestablishing control. When she calls 911, she's basically saying to them, I did it, I'm here, I'm in control.
Ma'am, just stay where you are.
Jean thinks the murder will be justified.
I don't feel guilty, you know.
Who defends a pedophile? But authorities don't see it that way. They find there is nothing justifiable about this homicide.
Jean was very proud of what she did, saying in God's eyes, she was innocent. She was a good person.
In 2006, Jean is convicted of first-degree murder. She's sent to prison for 25 years to life.
At 81 years old, Jean Allen was the oldest person in Orange County to ever plead guilty to first-degree murder.
Instead of spending her twilight years enjoying her family, Jean spends it alone behind bars. She dies 4 years later.
She's an 81-year-old woman who spends her last years in prison. Who wants to end that way? It's a tragedy for her and a tragedy for everyone who knew her.
Jean tried to destroy a life with accusations. When that didn't work, she used bullets.
The law does not allow you taking your role as judge, jury, and executioner into your hands. She went so far beyond the laws of society, especially on allegations that, once again, were never found to be true.
For some women,
She was the queen bee.
secrets are more important
Her kingdom was being threatened.
than life itself.
She was not gonna let it go.
On the outskirts of Waco, Texas, in 2007, the Sturdivant family celebrates a true milestone: 40 years in business.
Joe Sturdivant owned a transmission business, and it was a family business that's ran since 1967.
Hey, Joe, take a look at this.
Big Joe, man's man. Stock car driver, involved in racing since the 1960s. You know, here's a guy who was a pure Texan.
It's a real family affair.
You boys ready for a break?
Honey, you read my mind.
Wife, 62-year-old Joyce, handles the accounts.
Joyce ran the office. She did all the business transactions and handled all the money, insurance claims, things like that.
Thanks, Mom.
Her son, Joe Jr., works by her husband's side.
Joyce had a son from her first marriage, and they all just were one big happy family running this business together.
You got 4 new customers tomorrow.
I'll be able to retire soon.
You can. I'm not.
Heart problems do convince Joe to hang up his tools. And he relaxes into a well-earned retirement. But not Joyce. She takes over the company.
She had about 6 or 7 guys and other people that depended on her for their livelihood, so they treated her like a queen.
After Joe retired, she was the queen bee.
It's always been a profitable business. But now, with Joyce in the driver's seat, they hit a rocky road.
She had not paid the taxes in quite a few years on the business, and I believe that was over $140,000 worth of taxes that was due.
Joyce isn't paying the tax man because she's spending the money on herself.
She was basically embezzling their own money.
You know, she's not driving around with gold chains and diamond rings or gambling or drinking it. Where is this money going?
She has an expensive, secret habit.
Joyce was addicted to hydrocodone. That's an opium derivative. Lots of people become addicted to it quickly. No wonder she ran the business into the ground.
The queen bee is so deep in debt, she's about to lose everything. And Big Joe's starting to get suspicious.
I haven't stopped all day.
Been busy.
Joyce was afraid of what Joe would do if he found out how she had destroyed the business. And without the business, Joyce couldn't buy drugs.
She was fearful that Joe would find out about how she had run the business.
I got this call about the credit cards.
He would have taken the business back over, come out of retirement, and sent her home.
You don't need to worry about that. You just leave the books to me.
Yes, sir.
Her kingdom was being threatened.
But in the summer of 2007, there's a far more dramatic threat. Joyce is attacked in the bathroom.
Joyce had told us that someone had broken in, hit her over the head, knocked her out, and someone had gone into their bedroom.
What the? You get out of
But Big Joe's no easy target.
He was surprised by Big Joe because Big Joe responded quickly to the attack and fought him off pretty well. And in the end, he just needed to get out of there, and so he fought him off by hitting him over the head with the pistol.
Big Joe suffers a severe head injury.
Looks like you put up a bit of a fight. Yeah, but not a winning one.
Man.
No, I got hit too from behind.
She kept saying, there's a bump right here, there's a bump right here. And I work in the medical field, and I felt her head, and I didn't feel anything. And then the doctor came in and said, there's nothing, there's no bump.
You see the man?
No, it was so dark. I couldn't see a thing.
Joyce and Joe can't describe their attacker. They have no known enemies. There is little for the police to go on.
The investigation into the home invasion case went along for a while and then just lost steam.
Joyce is strangely uninterested in finding her attackers.
I've never come across the scenario that we found in the Sturdivant case. It was bizarre.
On the outskirts of Waco, Texas,
What the? You get out of
Big Joe Sturdivant suffers head injuries during a violent home invasion. And his attackers are still at large. But his wife, Joyce, is oddly unconcerned because she planned the whole thing.
Joyce was a little bit afraid of Joe finding out she had run his business into the ground.
Joyce is looking for new hirers.
It's Big Joe. He's beat me.
Joyce was complaining about Joe and Joe beating her up. As far as we know, was unfounded.
Joe's life insurance can get her out of her financial hole,
I need your help.
but only if he meets an untimely accident.
And he says, I know some people who might get it done, but I can beat them up for you if you pay me. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, they drive over to Joyce's house.
Bedroom to the left. That's where he is, okay?
And Joyce, she's got everything ready. She's got the dogs locked up and the house open. She sits back, thinking, tonight's the night. They're gonna take care of business for me. And she's kind of in the bathroom, in the corner, and she's got her fingers in her ears, like she's anticipating a loud noise, maybe the crack of a gun.
But Big Joe's self-defense saves his life.
It didn't play out like Joyce had originally planned for it. She clearly wanted him dead.
Joyce turns to Plan B, a trusted friend in the office who might know someone in the murder game.
Find some trustworthy guys.
They developed a relationship, and Joyce asked if she knew anyone that could help her get rid of her husband.
She eventually found 2 guys that said they would do it.
These are worth a lot more than $2,000.
And these 2 men wanted, of course, to be paid.
Joyce couldn't pay a hitman because she was in horrible debt. She thought her jewelry would be enough.
All right, I'll put it out there, see what bounces back.
What bounces back is robbery. The men simply take Jean's jewels and run.
These guys had no intention of killing Joe Sturdivant.
They seen an opportunity, and they're going for it. And you know what, Joyce? If you say anything, we're gonna turn you in.
But the Queen Bee doesn't give up easily.
She finally said, well, I'm just going to take matters into my own hands. If you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
In the early hours of October 8th, 2008, Joyce moves on to Plan C.
You don't normally think of murderers walking around in shower caps. It appears that Joyce was concerned about the blood spatter, trying to make sure she covered up everything.
Joyce got a .38 caliber pistol. We knew that they had a lot of guns around the house.
Big Joe is sound asleep. She could probably hear his nose whistle. She walks up. She kills him cold-bloodedly, just like that, for nothing. A man she has known for almost 50 years and been married to for 4 decades.
Finally, Joyce achieves her goal. Now, to get away with it.
Joyce knew she was going to be gone all day. That was her alibi, was that she was at work. She needed to make sure the body wouldn't start decomposing immediately, and she thought merely turning down the air conditioner and lighting a candle would do the trick.
She stages the scene, flips some tables over, pulls some drawers out, and kind of makes it look like someone was in there trying to rob the place, and maybe Joe woke up.
Joyce spends the day in the office, and no one suspects a thing.
She came back, went into the house, immediately called 911.
I need someone to come here right away.
Said, I think my husband has had a heart attack.
I think my husband's had a heart attack.
Big Joe had a history of heart trouble. But as the crime scene evidence indicated, that's not what happened to him.
Half his head's gone. It's very bloody.
The crime scene also did not match with a burglary because nothing was taken. It looks like the drawers were pulled out and things were tussled about a bit, but nothing was really taken.
And soon enough, her previous consorts start spilling to the police.
Mistake number 1, Joyce approached way too many people about killing her husband. Mistake number 2, all of them were untrustworthy.
In 2011, Joyce Sturdivant is convicted of attempted capital murder and first-degree murder. She is sentenced to 30 years in prison. Joyce began by stealing money. In the end, it was a life.
She ruined my family. She ruined our lives.
Joyce was a cold, calculating, selfish individual who thought only of herself. She is exactly where she needs to be, and that's in the penitentiary.
The golden years of retirement.
She liked to be out and about.
Can be ripe for adventure.
She should have known that it was only a matter of time.
Benny? As long as you can handle the pace.
She took it a little too far.
In Midwest City, Oklahoma, Barbara Broadway is preparing for something she hasn't done in a long time.
Stop it.
A date.
Great. Oh, I'm too old to go on a date.
Trust me, he's a lovely guy, and he's actually older than you.
I'll get that.
Barbara got along with everyone.
Come on.
She wanted to still get out and do things, fool around with her friends somewhere.
Hi, how you going? Fanny, this is Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello.
Nearing her 60s, with her children all grown up, the divorcee isn't ready to be put on the shelf. In 2004, 70-year-old Benny Scott lights her fire.
Ooh, thank you.
And they both give love another try.
Benny had children from a previous marriage as well, so it was kind of a blended family.
I love gardening.
Oh, I'm no good in the garden.
Oh, I just love growing my own herbs.
I'd love to taste them sometime.
Well, I think that can be arranged.
Benny was one of those men who is dependent on women. He needed to have a woman in his life.
Barbara has her new man, but she doesn't want her new life to be in Oklahoma.
You've made me the happiest old man in the world.
Me too.
She wants to join her daughter in Florida.
He had a lot of friends, but they were all in Oklahoma.
I love you, but I miss my family.
She worked on him and worked on him.
I don't want to leave Oklahoma.
What about my needs?
He didn't want to move from Oklahoma, but Barbara did, so he moved with her.
By 2009, the couple relocates to Lake Alfred, Florida.
They were able to get a very nice house. The temperature never got cold, and you didn't have any of those Oklahoma dust storms. It was really a good environment.
Barbara is living the dream, but it comes at a price.
It's so humid.
Isn't it great?
Benny was getting up in his late 70s, and his health was not good at all.
I'm going in. Barbara!
Benny's heart had let him down. He had a heart attack,
My chest.
pacemaker, stents, and he was in congestive heart failure.
It's a blow for Barbara. Being nursemaid is not part of her Florida dream.
It's time for you to get up.
I don't want to get up. I'm tired.
You're fine. The doctor said so.
Barbara was 13 years younger than Benny, and her health was just fine.
You can't leave me here alone.
I can, and I will.
For months, Benny's health ebbs and flows. But Barbara is comforted by being close to her daughter for big occasions like Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
You two seem happy.
We are. Merry Christmas.
But for every good day comes the bad.
To say he was slowing down in life, getting towards the end of life, would be probably a good description.
Benny relies on Barbara more and more. Not just physically, emotionally.
Benny's emotional needs were far greater than his physical needs.
She was his emotional crutch. He was afraid his body would fail him and there would be no recourse if he was alone.
But Barbara is tired of playing nurse.
Benny's demands on Barbara crimped her style. She liked to be out and about. Benny wanted her on the sofa next to him. All the time.
Then, in January 2012, Barbara has news.
What happened, Mama?
You missed everyone in Oklahoma.
Oh, Mama. I'm so sorry.
Benny has left her.
She told the people here that he had gone back to Oklahoma and he wasn't coming back.
I'll be fine.
Barbara moves on rather briskly.
Coffee, tea, or something?
Tea would be great, thanks.
She even has her family clean out Benny's belongings from their garage.
She was selling everything that belonged to Benny.
We can't throw these away. I would want these pictures, you know?
They discovered childhood photos and mementos of Benny's. And they thought, surely he's gonna want this stuff. So they figured, okay, we'll call Benny's daughter in Oklahoma.
Look, we're in the storage locker and we're sorting through some stuff. Just don't know what to keep. Can I talk to Benny for a while?
When they called the daughter in Oklahoma, she said, he's not here. Dad is in Florida with Barbara.
In Florida, 2012,
You missed everyone in Oklahoma.
64-year-old Barbara Scott seems mighty confused about her husband's whereabouts.
I'll be fine. Well, Benny is in Oklahoma with his family.
She said, well, Benny went back to his family in Oklahoma, and I don't know if he ever wants to come back to Florida.
But at the same time, telling his family in Oklahoma
Hello?
he's still in Florida, but unavailable.
No, I'm sorry. He can't come to the phone at the moment. He's got a throat problem.
She kept claiming that he had either laryngitis and could not talk on the phone to his children, or that he was ill or hospitalized.
Oh, he'll be fine. He's having surgery next month.
When Benny wasn't seen for 3 months, people got worried.
And it was only a matter of time before one talked to the other, and they put the pieces together.
Confronted by her daughter in Florida, Barbara reveals the awful truth.
And she said, Mom. She looked in her eyes.
Where's Benny, Mama?
Well, he's in Oklahoma. He missed his
Mama,
family.
I know he's not there. He died. I buried him in the garden.
Barbara says it's an act of nature. One morning in the shower, Benny falls and hits his head.
Benny?
Barbara admitted to her daughter, yes, Benny slipped and fell in the shower.
Benny?
Banged his head and it killed him.
Benny!
He didn't have any pulse, he wasn't breathing. I didn't know what to do. I panicked. There's a dead body in my shower. So I just took him and I buried him in the herb garden. And Benny was at rest in a bed of parsley, rosemary, and basil.
Mama, I think we gotta go to the police.
Her daughter convinces Barbara to tell the police everything. But when they exhume the body, they get a surprise.
What do they see? A bullet hole.
Benny?
Barbara immediately changes her story.
He committed suicide.
Benny!
I walked in, and he was collapsed on the floor of the shower.
She was overwhelmed. She was ashamed. It was like a dirty family secret for someone to commit suicide.
I was so beside myself with grief that I didn't know what to do, so I buried him in the backyard.
There are just a few problems.
He's absolutely never been depressed. He's never talked to suicide, anything like that. A couple years ago, Benny had his pacemaker put in. That's not the kind of person who commits suicide.
And the autopsy report shows Benny was shot in the back of the head.
It has been my experience that people committing suicide with a gun don't hold it to the back of their head.
It is physically impossible for Benny to hold a gun, a .22 caliber revolver, several inches from his head and fire the bullet. It was ruled a homicide.
Barbara is caught, a cold-blooded murderer. She executed her husband because he was slowing her down.
It's definitely a strange case. People that are in their golden years, you think usually it's right off into the sunset. In this one, it ends up buried underneath an herb garden.
In 2014, Barbara Scott is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole.
She got rid of the problem in the only way she could think possible. It was selfish, it was regrettable, and there's no excuse for taking Benny's life.
These deadly women should have known better. Jean Allen allowed prejudice to destroy her family. Joyce Sturdivant wanted money more than her husband of 40 years. And Barbara Scott didn't want to be slowed down. All three turned to murder late in life, when Granny gets a gun.